But like I said, my whole thing is, no, I mean, because see, like I said before, I like to craft it based off of, as a wrestling fan, like what I would like to see is, I want to be able to watch a wrestling program and basically say, what can they do to separate from the normie, the same? Like, don't, like, good example, if you see a villain in a movie, if you watch a movie and you have three characters, one's name is Fred something, one's guy's name is Stan something, and another guy's name is Clore Jack Lore, and then you're like, oh, I wonder who the villain is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it turned out that guy was the hero. Like, oh, fuck, you mean Ted was the villain? Holy shit. Like, like, I want to see that movie. Like, it's like, I always tell it to people. On a side note, you ever watch the Harry Potter movies? Keep in mind that the main villain's real name is Tom. Like, think how hilarious that is. Oh, no, not Tom!
Oh, God. So, real quick, guys, before we end the night here, I just want to bring up, like, the whole thing that happened recently with Paige and Twitch and her breaking down on how WWE wants to take her money, not just hers, but anyone else that has an outside Twitch, an outside TikTok, an outside Instagram, or whatever else. And, yeah, I mean, she brought up good points. She brought up that she gave everything to the company. She basically broke her neck twice for the company. They're not even using her, like, as a manager or something that won't get her bumped or whatever. And, I mean, she's doing the Twitch for the sake of having something to do. So she's not driving herself crazy just being home or whatever. And technically speaking, I don't even know if she still is technically employed or not with the WWE, technically speaking. But, I don't know. It's just kind of like, hey, this new streaming stuff makes money? What? Well, where do I get a cut of the pie?
I mean, I kind of see it both ways, but ultimately I side on the, as a worker, my perspective is, just leave it alone. These people, they are technically, supposedly independent contractors.
But really not, though, if you think about it, because this is the problem. WWE is owning not just the rights to their character. They're taking the rights to their names, their legal names.
Which is nonsense. It is. Their argument is that, nobody would know or care who Sarah Knight was if it wasn't for Paige. And, I get that. But it's like, at the same time, they're only independent contractors in the loosest sense of the word. And, the only reason Vince gets away with it is because it's just that phony wrestling shit whenever it goes to the courts. Because if people in general took wrestling more seriously, a judge would look at these things and he would look at Vince and be like, you're full of shit. You can't call these people independent contractors because you really literally want to run every single area of their life. But unfortunately, it's just that phony wrestling shit, so the courts don't care. And it's going to be that way, unfortunately, for a very long time. It's like, I get what Vince's angle is. People only care about you because of me. So every dollar you make, I am owed 50 cents of, because if it wasn't for me, nobody'd care about you. I think that's arrogant. I think it's not correct. It's just like him always saying he's the one who made Hulk Hogan, where Hulk Hogan was selling Hulkamania shirts out of the trunk of his fucking car when he was working for Vern. So, there's no goddamn way Vince McMahon made Hulk Hogan. He didn't, he made some of these people, but he didn't make all of them. AJ Styles was already a name. He would have been a name even if he never went to work for Vince. Samoa Joe would have been a name.
He already had 15 years in the industry before he got into WWE.
Yeah, it's very arrogant of Vince to assume, but this is what he believes. He believes he's right. That's a famous Scott Hall quote. Whenever he would walk away from a confrontation, that was not going well, it was like, dude, it ain't worth it. He thinks he's right, and that was his point. If somebody thinks they're right, you can almost not even fight with them because you're not going to win. But it's shitty. And, you know, it's just leave these fucking people alone. You sure as shit ain't going to be taking care of them after they're hurt and retired. You're not going to be paying their fucking bills and all of that. So if they want to go on Twitch or stream or OnlyFans or whatever, you know, let them do what they want to do when they're off the clock. That's my angle. I've had promoters tell me to a point, like, oh, you're not allowed to do this or say that or this on social media because of your ties to this company or whatever. And I get it, but it always rubs me wrong. Because it's like, dude, if I'm off the clock, I am off the fucking clock. Don't tell me what I can do at 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday, all right? If I'm not working for you that day, you don't have any fucking say in what I'm doing that day. That's my opinion. But
I'll jump in on this here because, you know, and I agree with a lot of what you said, Ricky. I mean, honestly, it is a shitty situation for the talent themselves because a lot of these guys have their own brands. They've been really successful with the social media streams, and with Twitch blowing up the way it has over these last few years, it's a really great option for talent to stay in touch with fans and take another form of interaction with them. So I've been in, you know, like call center work most of my life. I've been a manager, I've been an operations manager. So I've had to play the company role for many years and many different times. So I can tell you, I can take this from a business standpoint and tell you, they own the name. They own the likeness. They own everything about the character that is seen on TV every week. So when somebody goes out and presents themselves in any type of a social setting, whether it be online, in person, there's still a representation of that company. Whether they are punched into a clock or whether the understanding is you are contractually obligated to us 365 every year, every day, every hour, every minute, it's still a representation of the WWE. So if you're still under contract, you represent the company at all points and times. So if you're on a social media stream, you have to be careful of how you're presenting yourself at all times. You have to be careful about what you say. Because if you do anything to portray the company in a negative light, that reflects poorly upon you as an employee and poorly on the company. So I get where they're coming from. I don't think the money should be an issue, but we all know that that's what it is. If they came to them and were like, listen,
when he didn't know they were making that much money, he didn't give a shit. But then when he found out she's making like $5,000 a month or something off of this, now he cares so much.
Oh yeah, and it's the sad part is like he still probably doesn't even know what Twitch is. He's probably just going based upon what people are telling him, so he's getting secondhand information. If she went, say Paige sat down and AJ sat down with Vince and said, "Listen, here's what we do as ourselves to generate a little additional revenue that has no impact and no bearing on WWE. We still do everything we're supposed to and that we're contractually obligated to," then maybe that would have been a different way to approach it and maybe things would have gone differently. But for Vince to hear secondhand, oh, Paige is making $5,000, using her Paige name on Twitch, like she's using her likeness. That's what they probably did. And Vince is like, well, screw that. That's not good shit. I want a chunk of that $5,000. That's who Vince is. He probably felt betrayed because somebody he quote unquote made didn't clue him in and didn't make him a part of the overall success. So I get where Vince and company are coming from. I get where the talent's coming from. It is a shitty situation for everybody involved. And I kind of have to side with you as well. If you're not on the clock, though, if it's your day off, you're not set to do a show, do an appearance, anything of the such, and you want to get on for 2 hours and play a video game and talk to fans, who cares what you're doing in your off time? As long as I don't hear you blast the company and you don't try to put over the competition, go about your business, make your money. You got to have a nest egg at the end of the day, too. She's not going to be around forever, and neither is the WWE in terms of how she makes her money. So who cares if she's streaming video games in a bra for 2 hours a day? Who gives a damn? It shouldn't matter to the WWE as long as she fulfills her contractual obligations. Anything she does separately shouldn't even matter. That's my take.
And 2 points that I'll try to get through quickly based on things that you were saying. Number one, you're right in that no matter who you work for, because I used to work in the gym business, and even now for the wrestling company I work for, I've been told many a times, everything you do reflects upon this company. Yep. But it's implicitly understood that what that really means is that if I do something that's literally off sides, that I'll pay for it if and when. it doesn't imply that they own me 24/7 and that I have to check with them before I wipe my ass, because it doesn't work that way. That's number one. When it comes to the nest egg, now here's something that I don't think Vince is even considering. I know for a fact he's not. A lot of these people are still trying to make up for some of the money they lost when the network became a thing. And this is something we all kind of stopped talking about because we all love the network and everything. But a huge amount of these guys' income was pay-per-view bonuses.
Yep.
And when the network became a thing, pay-per-view buys went in the toilet and all those bonuses went away. And that's one of the things CM Punk was rattling cages about, is what's going to happen to all these guys' pay-per-view bonuses now. And they never really got a straight answer. So they all lost money, and they're just trying to get a little back. They're just trying to take care of themselves because nobody's going to take care of them. And I think they should have the right to do that. When it comes to Paige specifically, I think it's really stupid that they didn't discipline or give a shit when stuff came out on the internet of her doing what she did and then somebody, besmirching the NXT women's title belt. They didn't give a shit. Now they give a shit because she's on fucking the internet playing video games? Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's what they care about?
They didn't give a shit about Xavier Woods literally banging her on camera. And he was one of the shitty characters.
And this gets into good boss versus bad boss shit. We talked about good boss versus bad boss last time with the Tony Khan situation. You're right, DJF, that probably what happened is somebody just told Vince secondhand about how this deal is going down, and he got all pissed off. And he called a meeting and told everybody, this is the way it's going to be. That's bad boss shit. A good boss calls a meeting with everybody, asks questions, lets them talk, say, this is why I'm doing the Twitch, this is why I'm doing this and that, and they have a dialogue. And they reach an understanding, and it's a conversation. Now, I had a lot of heated arguments with a lot of the people I've worked for in and out of the wrestling business. Now, the last guy I worked for, we literally have closed-door conversations where it was like, fuck you and fuck you too. But it always ended with, all right, well, I'm glad we had this conversation. And there was times when I pushed a little harder than I should have, but it was always a back and forth. And he sometimes he would try that I'm the boss thing. And be like, well, there's good boss and bad boss. And I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to pull that I'm the boss shit and that's the end of the conversation, that's bad boss shit. Just saying. And sometimes, people got to be humble. Vince doesn't know how to be humble.
No, you got that right.
Yeah, the right way to handle this would have been to have a real meeting, ask the talent, what's going on, guys? And they reach an understanding. What he's doing is like Vern going up to Hogan in '83 and saying, I want 60% of your T-shirt money and I want 40% of your Japanese bookings, which I had nothing to do with. But you're Hulk Hogan and you're my property, so if you're going over to fight Inoki, I want a cut of your fucking money. And Hogan looked him right in the eye and said, fuck you. Fuck you, Vern. You don't own me. And that's why he's Hulk Hogan.
Here's the thing. I will say this, flat out. There's actually a couple things I wanted to say, to be honest. The problem is, DJF, you said before, you've worked at several companies. Ricky, I know you've worked. We've all worked at different companies. Have you ever, in your life, worked for a company that told you, one, we own the rights to your character, the character I get, but they own the rights to your actual name and your likeness to use whatever and however they please. And have you ever been told by a company that you cannot ever use a specific social media website or any sort of thing using? I'm not talking about getting paid for it. I'm talking about using it. Have you ever heard of a company that said you cannot use it, period?
No, not when it comes to usage. No, I've never worked with a company that's ever said like you can't use Twitch or Facebook or whatever. Just that you are restricted as to how you present yourself when you're on it. That's all.
But Vince, I had a friend years ago who used to work for WWE, He was a backstage hand. He wasn't like a wrestler. He was a guy who worked. He was like one of the extra like ring crew camera people. He didn't really actually show up on camera. He was just kind of like one of the people who was like a tech person. And he was friends with a couple of wrestlers back in the day. He told me some stuff that I didn't know about. And as I found out more about it, I'm like, holy fucking shit, that's horrible. He told me that, because he worked from, I want to say from 2000, it wasn't even that long ago. It was about 2016 to about 2018. So about 16 to 18, so pretty decent time. He told me that as opposed to independent, certain wrestlers, most wrestlers, when they get contracts, in their contracts, it states that wrestlers' merchandising sales, they only get 8% of the merchandise sales. 8%. That's not even 10%. That's not even tax, basically. That's 8% after tax. They get 8% of their merchandise sales after tax. And if they win a title, it gets bumped up to 2 more percent. So it goes from 8% to 10%. Now take that in consideration to independent places that make shirts for wrestlers, like Pro Wrestling Tees or whatever. They start you out at a minimum of 20%. They go from 20% to 25 to 30%. So 30% is like, oh, you've been there for a long time, you're a multiple champion. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Young Bucks, they get 30%. Makes sense. But comparatively to that, you go, I'm not even taking the economics out of it. The fact of the matter is, Vince wants to own people. It's not a matter of, people think Vince is in the entertainment industry. Vince is not in the entertainment industry. He hasn't been in the entertainment industry at all. He is literally a ring barker. He is a circus performer. He is a circus trainer. He's the guy with the top hat who tells you what you want to see. He doesn't ask you what you want to see. He doesn't give a shit what you think. He doesn't care what you want. He does what he wants. He is so insane. He is incapable of ever giving the reins to his own damn family. He actually only gave NXT to Triple H because he couldn't handle the balance of working the books, the bank statements, board meetings, Raw and SmackDown, main event, and 205 Live. That's the only reason he gave NXT to Triple H. It's the only reason he did. And then when he said, "Hey, you're not doing as good as AEW. I'm going to downgrade you," for no reason. And that's the truth of it is that's how Vince is. Vince is, when people say Vince is crazy, they mean he's fucking crazy. Do you want to know the real reason New Japan will never work with WWE? The real reason? New Japan has built their foundation on respect. Whether or not you think it's real, wrestling, whatever. New Japan is a company based off of respecting the talent and respecting the people behind it. Whether or not you wrestle there is irrelevant. The whole reason the Young Bucks don't want to work with New Japan, because they're the ones who's halting. They're the real ones who are halting. The real people that are halting New Japan working with AEW is the Young Bucks. Because they keep telling Tony Khan that they were mean to them. And if you know anything about wrestling, you know that's bullshit. They said they were mean to them. You know why they said they were mean to them? Because they didn't book them how they wanted to be booked. Even though they gave them full merchandise rights, let them work in Ring of Honor, let them create their own multi-factions, let them invite whoever they wanted into the Bullet Club, gave them the Elite and all these other side things, gave them their own full merchandising rights, gave them pretty much every reign you could possibly want. They still said, no, it's not enough. So my whole thing of it is, with Vince, it's the same way. Fuck, Vince McMahon and the Young Bucks are literally cut from the same cloth. It's just that Vince was handed a silver spoon up his ass. That's the only difference. And the truth of the matter
I'd love to know, with the Bucks, I'd love to know at one point who got in their ear in the first place and told them that you book yourself. And that, if you're Hulk Hogan, you do. Even Nash didn't book himself, despite all legend. That's not how this fucking business works.
You want to know why? I know this sounds stupid, and it sounds weird and petty for me to say this, but this is the real reason. You know the real, actual reason WWE or New Japan doesn't trust WWE? It has nothing to do with Vince. Or it has nothing to do with, like, oh, they had a fight with Vince, they had a the only reason, the actual only reason they have an issue with WWE is because years ago, when Hulk Hogan was the champion, when he was the world champion, he traveled overseas. Okay, he did a gigantic spectacle at Jingu Stadium. Huge fucking show. Main event was Antonio Inoki versus Hulk Hogan. Okay? It was a one-night event, one night only. These two fought. Hogan lost the WWF title to Inoki. At the end of the match, he gave the title back to Hogan. Literally just said, okay, well, have fun. That was fun. That's all it was. It was just for the fans. That was it. Vince had promised Antonio Inoki he was going to drop the title to him, and that was going to be on record. Hogan comes back to the States. Hogan's still undefeated. He's never lost the title. He had the title for over 2 years. Never lost it. Bullshit. He lost the title. He lied to Inoki's face. That's why Inoki hated him. Inoki can deal with a lot of shit. He can deal with assholes. He can deal with all that. He can't deal with liars. That's the whole reason he doesn't want to deal with Impact either. Impact got New Japan talent. They had the best of New Japan. They had Roderick Strong wrestling with them. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Okada, Naito. Some of the best wrestlers in the world. And they booked them to lose to guys like Eazy-E or like all these like jobbers like Abyss. They had Okada, one of the greatest wrestlers in the modern era, wear a black mask, dye his hair black, and call him Kato, and based him off of Green Hornet.
Well, I want to interject one thing, though, just to say, I mean, you know, I'm not going to totally dispute your point, but, you know, to be fully transparent, I would go a step further to say I think that maybe Inoki's biggest problem is people who are... I think he doesn't like people who are as adept as massaging the truth as he is. I mean, let's just call it what it is. This dude, one year he took like all the NJPW profits and went and bought a fucking island in the Pacific with it. I mean,
I'm not saying Inoki is an egotistical asshole. That's a whole other side note. I'm just saying from the perspective of the company.
There's been books written, literally entire books written about Antonio Inoki's creative grasp on truth and honesty and dignity. But that, I'm not arguing your point. I'm just saying for the sake of full transparency.
But going back to my whole point and saying, for a company owner and a company in general to say not only do we own the rights to your name on a personal level, your likeness, what you say, how you act, your sales, your money, your profit, your insurance, your health, your travel, everything. I'm gonna just play the clip from Rick and Morty. He said it best.
It sounds like slavery with extra steps. Oh wow, someone's gonna get laid in college.
Truthfully, that's what it is. That's what it is. It sounds like slavery with extra steps. That's all it is.
You're right, though. I mean, there's so many people. I've had people sit me down in the locker room and tell me I'm crazy because I've always said I would never want to work for Vince. As everybody always says, you need to get the fuck out of this business, boy. If you ain't trying to get to WrestleMania, you ain't got no business being here. And they'll tell you that right to your face. And it was like, I've met enough people who were there. And to a man, they'll tell you, they pay you enough to stick around and just enough not to quit, but you're fucking miserable the whole time. And, I don't get rich. I'm pretty far from getting rich. But I've never even had a promoter ask me for a cut of my 8x10s or my shirts. I go to a show, and because I paid for all that, I don't, I'm pretty much a nobody, so I don't have a pro wrestling tease because I'm not on Twitter, and you got to be on Twitter and the whole thing. Everything I do is punk rock. Everything. I pay for those shirts out of my pocket. I go to the store and buy my own fucking gimmicks. I sell necklaces my wife fucking helped make and the whole thing. All that comes from me. So I'll be damned if I'm splitting that money with anybody. I don't even like selling a fucking shirt for 15 when I can get 20 most days, but sometimes I got to do 15. But I keep 100% of that. And for guys on the indies, that's so huge because when you're on the indies, a lot of times there's only about like 30 to 50 bucks in that envelope at the end. Doesn't matter what you do. Or if you have 2 matches or 3 matches, you know, you're getting like 30 to 50 bucks in that fucking envelope. But you can make another 100 if you're really good with the t-shirt hustle. And when I worked like one place, somebody said that, you know, if you sell anything, you're here because of us. So you owe us like $1 for every fucking shirt or whatever. I don't think I sold anything that day, so it didn't matter. But it was one place that everybody else was like, no. This is our gift to you. Go get yourself over and make yourself some money. Unspoken is the words, because we ain't paying you enough. They know. They don't have to say it. The hustle is how you get by in the fucking wrestling business. Whether you're on the indies, hawking shirts out of the trunk of your car, or whether you're working for WWE trying to make a couple bucks on Twitch on your day off. The hustle is how you get by. Because these fucking pricks ain't going to take care of you. And it's easy for the marks on the internet to say, oh, they're making 6 figures for Vince. Yeah, but if they make 6 a year, they're spending 5.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have a lot left over. I mean, look at all the horror stories. I'm working with guys on this show coming up this weekend. I'm not saying this to be mean, but some of these guys probably should have retired a long time ago if they were better with their money. But that's neither here nor there, because that's just not the way the business works. So if you have an opportunity to go out and get yourself some jingle in your pocket, this is still America. You know, fuck anybody who's going to tell anybody what to do on their day off. That's my fucking point.
Exactly. I agree. Fuck Vince. I think we all can say that, right?
Fuck Steph. Oh, oof.
Well, that's a whole different kind of fucking. But we do need to work out some kind of deal, some kind of shipping to our states and stuff. Because I mean, we got to get some retro rocker shirts and wear them in our episodes. We can
get one, and I'll send one. I'll wear one on the camera, man.
Yeah, me too, dude.
I still got a few left. They only go up to XL, but that's what I got. I got S to XL, and they're pretty big though. I don't know. I'd sell, believe it or not, and I'm not saying this to be mean too, but I'd sell a lot more if I had them in bigger sizes. But they cost too much to make. But I've lost so many sales because some Husky boys will come up to me and be like, "You got them in 3X?" Nah, brother. I wouldn't even have any left. But it's just they cost more to print in the bigger sizes.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans tend to come in this, the little Husky. Before we call it a night, Mark, you never asked me where I'm going to be this Saturday, November 7th.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you going to be this Saturday, November 7th? Let all the fans know, because that was you get the inside scoop.
On November 7th, I'm going to be in Homedale, New Jersey at the Homedale Motor Inn for SWF Storm Surge. And get a load of this. We got a stacked card. I'm talking stacked. We're going to have Tommy Dreamer. We're going to have the Sandman. We're going to have Snitsky. We're going to have Ring of Honor legend Rhett the Threat Titus, who's a good personal buddy of mine. We're going to have Ray Apollo as Doink. We got an official Doink. Not one of those bootleg Doinks. We got the real deal. And I will be appearing in an 8-man tag team match, teaming with Frankie Flo, Biggie Biggs, and WWE Hall of Famer and former WWF Tag Team Champion, Tony Atlas, Mr. USA himself. We're going to be taking on Crazy Ivan, Tristan Law, the Lost Boy Orlock, and Mr. Fantastic in an 8-man tag.
Holy
it's
shit.
All coming at you live November 7th at SWF Storm Surge, Homedale, New Jersey. So that's what I'm doing next weekend. We've already got over 100 pre-sale tickets sold. Tickets are on eventbrite.com. Just look for SWF Wrestling Presents Storm Surge. It'll be on the internet eventually. But we really would love it if anybody in the Northeast could make the trip. And if you're worried about driving, it's at the Homedale Motor Inns. So just go check yourselves in and have a good night's sleep. Don't let the bed bugs bite, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird we're at a motor inn, but it's you got to do outdoor venues right now. I just heard today we're going back to indoor after the new year because they're expecting protocols to be a little bit more back to normal. But right now everything's still got to be outdoors, and it's tough to find a venue, I guess. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like fun, man. But yeah, let us know, man. Maybe after this event, because obviously you got more shirts to sell over there. But whenever the event's over, that'd be cool, man. I wouldn't mind an episode of the Gamer Cauldron or Video Game Masters or whatever, and you happen to see me wearing a Retro Rocker shirt or Johnny's wearing a Retro Rocker shirt or something like that.
Absolutely. We got the hookups. I'm going to need to get more soon anyway, because I think I only got like 20 left, so I might have a really good night this weekend, but, we definitely got the hookup.
Yeah, Johnny's size small. Do you have any size small shirts?
Oh, yeah. I got them in all sizes yet. I'm starting to run low. I get them through my buddy, look him up. If anybody, here's the deal. If anybody needs shirts printed up, my buddy Eric Shea, Eric with a K, Shea, in Asylum Printwear. Go on Facebook, look up Eric Shea. He's also a worker, great guy. Lit himself on fire last year, if you can believe that, but he's recovering nicely. He does the fireball gimmick where he does the Gene Simmons fireball, and it kind of backlashed on him. He had to get skin grafts and everything. But,
oh, God.
He's doing well. Yeah. But he's a hell of a guy, and Asylum Printwear does fantastic work. I get all my stuff printed through them. So look Eric Shea and Asylum Printwear up on the Facebook for any of your shirt printing needs. Gives you a hell of a deal. I looked around a million places before I settled on him. The style was good and the price was right. Some of those things can really cost you, but they do tip-top quality work. And that's where I direct anybody, because if you want to put your own stuff out there for your shows, your podcasts, or any of your business ventures, you got to get your stuff out there, and that's where I would direct people. I always tell everybody, look up Eric, talk to him. Him and his wife do a great job.
It's great.
That's pretty awesome.
People helping people. That's what this world's about,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that kind of wraps it up for tonight, guys. Thanks for indulging me in the last part, because that was like a big thing that just happened recently with Paige getting emotional and stuff, and I agree with some of her points. So, and we do try to talk about other wrestling companies, not just AEW all the time. So but so it's been a good episode. Mr. DJF was super awesome. Gave us lots of good knowledge. We got Nostradamus. Knives over here, and it's just cool having Rikki Roxx. It's always a treat having him on, and of course Johnny's there too, and Johnny was there too,
Yes.
and stuff like that. But so I guess we should call it.
Hopefully we'll have Jupy with us next time, just to make it the Wicked Six, the Sinister Six. We get the whole gang rolling. That'd be a lot of fun. But I know she's busy.
Yeah, she's been busy. And I don't know. I mean, I guess in her case, it's more fun to hear her reactions to what happened during the match, as opposed to now, it's just predictions. Doesn't really follow anyone. I mean, we're all very good at describing what happened during the matches, so her reactions are good enough there. But
I would have loved to hear a reaction to those Rainbow Bright jokes. That would have been off the chart.
Oh my God, yeah. So guys, we're gonna call it a night for now. Hope everyone's nice and safe and all that good stuff. And so this is Mark Rodriguez signing off here.
Johnny Rodriguez, thanks for the invite. I had a wonderful time.
Rikki Roxx getting ready to sign off. I want to say welcome aboard to our new guy, DJF. Thanks for contributing. And thanks again to Mark and Jack and the whole crew for having me once again. It's always a blast. And you know what I always say? It's always 420 someplace. And if you can't be good, be bad, baby.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are a blast. You guys know your stuff. Ricky, you are one of a kind, man. Thanks for putting some smiles on my face tonight. And I'm looking forward to doing more shows with you guys in the future if you'll have me.
For sure. And as always, you know me. I'm Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews. And I'm signing out.
One last thing we forgot. What is the punishment this time for whoever loses the predictions?
Nyla Rose's OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
No, that one. Oh God. Oh no. You know what? I just thought of it. The punishment is one of us should get the shirt. with Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose.
Oh God.
Oh God, that means if I get it, I have to buy it. Damn it! Whoever loses will have to buy wear the shirt on a video.
But you guys do have to check if the shirts are still available. Site.
Yeah, hold on, let me check.
Sure they don't.
Because that's another
I don't
thing,
think
though.
they had a run on Vicky Guerrero shirts.
Hold on, let me check. That's a good point though, because sometimes these I mean, I'm not gonna say they sell out, but I'm gonna say that sometimes they just switch it up a bit and they're no longer available. I seriously doubt.
Sometimes their warehouses, somehow some of their shipments just miraculously burst into flames.
They're flying
Who
off
left
the
this
shelves
pack
faster
of-
than toilet
who
paper
left
in a
this-
pandemic.
Who left this kerosene in matches near here? Who did it?
Yeah, hold on, guys. Yep, it's still there. It's hold on before you all laugh too much. Let me send you all the link so you all can see.
I already know how the shirt looks like.
Yeah, I know, but just see it again. It's in the main chat. You guys can click on the link and see it at your own peril.
I've already seen it. I've already seen it.
I've seen the shirt. I already know how the shirt looks like.
All right, great job.
And as always, be safe out there, guys.